What's up, guys? My name is Mike, and welcome back to my channel. Kind of got myself sidetracked and forgot to do an intro for the video with putting the rest of the engine together and then also putting the timing components together with the engine and transmission. Had some issues, not with the timing. Timing was actually very straightforward, and I'll show you guys how I set time and going into that. But the transmission ended up being a little tricky, just trying to find a few things for it. So I'll show you guys these videos with getting the engine and transmission together and then getting it stabbed in the car. Alrighty, so a little bit of an update on where I am. Timing components are together. That was a little tricky, and I say that is because I didn't realize that you had to have both idler pulleys off, do the belt, and then do the tension side, and then the stationary side. But anyways, regardless of that, very dummy proof. I have to say that. It's a very dummy proof timing design. That's taken care of. Tensioner's set, timing covers are on. As of right now, we're gonna go ahead and get the exhaust side sensor on. I don't know what that actually is called because I'm not an RB guy. Let me research real quick and I'll get back with you. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting the accessories bolted on. Tommy did tell me that the timing covers, not timing covers, rocker covers and the intake are done, and he picked them up from Powder Coat. So I should be able to get those this weekend and get those put on and be in really good shape. Alrighty, so the saga continues with the RB25 continuing to kick my butt with little goofy things. So just realized that we didn't order a pilot bearing, but RBs don't use pilot bearings, they use bushings. So I've got to get this auto one out, and then I've got to have Tommy order a pilot bushing, which unfortunately, unlike the luckiness that I had with the oil pickup gasket, that is not the case with these. These are RB specific. So gonna be having to order one from Raw Brokerage. I'm at the point now where I'm gonna go ahead and pull this bushing. Well, that made quick work of it. So this is a Tusk bearing remover. I've used this before and it's worked out amazing when I replaced the pilot bearing in CTSV. 5 wax. So first time I put it in, I didn't have it quite tight enough and it slipped out. Second time, basically what I did was just feel there's a detent, that lip, that basically you'll feel it grab the edge of that bearing. Just slide it back, tighten it up a little bit, you'll feel it catch, crank it down from there. Took 5 whacks and this dude was out. I saw everyone, just a quick Google search just to see what the easiest way was. And people were, you know, do the bread trick or drill it out or grind it out or whatever the case may be. 5 whacks and I'm done. So I'll count that as a win, and I'll just be waiting for the new bushing. Great news, we have parts. Man, I'm so excited these parts got here. So everything ended up delivering between Friday and Saturday. I have a metric ton amount of AMSOIL products. So really excited about that. So let's start looking and seeing what we've got. Ooh, Dynasty tuned. Oh, that's cool. Wow, that's a pretty cool little flyer. Got an FD on it and a 33 and what is that? That's that new Infinity Q50 or whatever that thing is. Got a parachute on the back of that thing. Well, you know that's LS swapped. Ain't too many rotary RX-7s anymore out there running around with a parachute on the back. They're all LS swapped. Gross. Alrighty, so this is the box from Dynasty. Cool, this is our head drain kit. So, Nitto billet head drain kit. Looks like what I'm gonna do is knock out that back plug like I was talking about, mark my 2 holes, drill and tap those dudes, put sealant on them, run them in. And then I'll decide which side will get the cap, which side will get the hose. Awesome. That's exciting. Ooh, that's been a big hold up there for that guy. All right, so that was from Dynasty. Let's see what we got from Raw Brokerage. Of course. Nice. Steel Dash 10 Vibrant Bung. It's always exciting when you get Vibrant Performance products. It's one thing I never have to worry about is the quality. I know that every time that product right there is going to be amazing. Boy, coloration of that thing, I don't know if you can tell. It just doesn't look like your standard, you know, steel ugly. It's got that like dark titanium charcoal color to it. Love Vibrant Performance products, although I am partial to them for a reason. Alrighty, so there's 4 replacement exhaust studs. Perfect. Those will come in handy for the ones that were missing and snapped off. And then that should be, right there, should be the pilot bushing that I've been waiting on. Nice. Excited about that. This is kind of everything I've been needing in order to get this car, you know, rolling. So I'm just going to use a small flat tip and a hammer, and I'm going to go ahead and knock that freeze plug in just to get it out of the way, grab a set of pliers, and fish it right on out. Now, you'll see me grab a piece of sandpaper and go ahead and sand down those edges just to make sure that I don't have any galling or issues with possibly knocking metal shards into the oil galley. Let's go ahead and drill some holes in this head and make some regretful decisions. So, as I was saying, when I looked at Nitto's instructions with this, it's a 5mm drill bit. We're going to use this one here, which is a number 9, as an alternative. So, here's where we're at so you guys can see. Got my head drain piece, and I've knocked out this plug, set it in place, tapped it all the way in, and got to where I feel I like where the holes are going to line up. Now that I've done that, I've made my marks with my Sharpie. I'm going to set this up, get my automatic center punch. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on another glove because I'm fixing to mess with grease again. And we're gonna go ahead and get this going. Oh, not quite. All right, so same thing as the head studs. Center punch, drill it out. A little bit different this time is that we're drilling in the oil galley, so you do have to be careful and you don't want to blow shards all over the place. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of extra grease. I'm just going to use some wheel bearing grease. I have too many tools and stuff around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of grease right on the back side of where this area is supposed to be. And that's just going to help catch anything in there so as it comes through. Now another recommendation is to put grease on the drill bit. Why? Because it'll help pick up any metal shavings that are in there. At least that is a wicked sharp drill bit. That's good. Alrighty, so grease is everywhere. I'm gonna go get a napkin. Then we're gonna throw this on a time lapse and start rocking. Alrighty, so time to figure out what length of hose I need. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the 90 on there. Go ahead and pull both of these off. Help me get a really good idea of where I need to be. Let's see where we're at. So now that I've got my measurement, I'm going to go ahead and cut this end of the hose. Now I've got the hose length that I need. I verified just to make sure it was where I wanted it. Now I'm going to go ahead and grease up my fittings and start the assembly process. It's fairly straightforward. Just make sure that you don't cross thread or over tighten them because they are aluminum and you can strip the threads super easy. A little trick that I do, and I'll show you guys a couple things about building your own AN lines that I found that's been helpful for me, and I haven't had any issues, so I'm going to keep doing it. There's always a right and wrong way. But needless to say, I've never had problems doing it this way, and it's always been beneficial and made my life a lot easier. So whenever you're building a standard AN hose, there's a flat spot. It's a step lip in there. If you look inside that fitting, you can almost see it right there. That's where you want the hose to come up into and butt against. You want it to rest all the way at that edge. So you set it on your hose and you kind of twist it down a little bit, twist it down. You want to watch to make sure that it doesn't flare out. You want to get all the nylon or steel braid, if you're using steel braid, all in there and then start twisting it down. Now, sometimes it's going to fight you a little bit and you may need to sit there and kind of hammer the flat part with the hose on, obviously this side, kind of onto a nice flat surface, you know, not on, you can use concrete, it's going to scratch it up, but you know, a wood block, something like that, and seat it down in there. The other thing that I do that has been a very helpful trick for me is I like to put a little bit of grease on this section here. This is what's actually going to be getting started as the threads catch. A lot of times you'll try to push this down in there, and because of just the tightness of the hose with this fitting going in there, you may struggle a little bit trying to get it seated or even getting the threads to catch. And then as you're tightening it down, the hose will try to spin and it's just chaos, and you might even grab the hose and try to like twist it and you'll end up buckling and collapsing the hose, which obviously damages the structural integrity of it. So what I do is just a little bit of grease, nothing fancy, just grab a little bit of grease. You don't want it globbed on there, but just rub it around where you could just see a nice little film all the way around of grease on that. So when you run it down in, you're not fighting friction of just the dry rubber. It's nice and easy. Screw it down, seat this flat to that flat, and you're good to go. If you don't have the aluminum AN fitting adjustable wrenches on hand, like this one, you can either buy just the stationary ones or you can buy the adjustable like this, and they are cheap. But if you don't have one, the next best thing you could do is just tape some blue tape and tape it on your, you don't want to put a big thick layer, but put a piece or two on each side of the standard steel crescent adjustable wrench here, and that'll just kind of help you from scratching up your fittings. That way you can still kind of make it look pretty as it's going together. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and set up my tripod over here and test this fitting, the hose out to see how it fits between the two. If it's good, we're gonna rock on and go ahead and throw the pilot bushing in, flywheel, and all that good stuff. Alrighty, so with the hose now installed, see if I can twist a little bit. Block drain, hose, down to the pan. I'm happy. Guess next is gonna be the pilot bushing. Last night, I left out of here thinking I'm an idiot. See, I got this flywheel bolted on. I showed you guys me. I was making sure that wasn't wet. Anyways, I got this flywheel bolted on yesterday. I was all proud of myself, good stopping point. See, this is where that whole RB and Jay-Z thing goes. It's part of it. It's part of it. When you're putting stuff together, if you're not paying attention, it will bite you. So, I will be removing this. this is where I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode. As you can see, I got the head drain on, obviously the engine's together, forgot about the dust plate, ended up having to do a little bit of modifications with that dust plate because it wasn't quite right, but I got it to work and then was able to put the flywheel and the clutch setup all together. One thing I wanted to note and add in there for anybody that might be going through this swap and maybe either has a damaged clutch fork or has lost theirs, this clutch fork here is the exact same on an 03 350Z, and then the 240SX with the ball detent and the bearing retainer clip, and then the other clip that holds onto the little ball pivot there. All of that is the same from a KA Trans, SR Trans, 03 350Z, Z32, and RB25. So that broadens the spectrum quite a bit for being able to source parts, as you don't have to specifically look for RB parts and have to pay that premium. Any of that stuff will work. Also noted, the 04 and up 350Z, that clutch fork design actually went to a cast setup, and that cast setup is much stronger and more durable, and it's a good heavy duty upgrade if you're making big power or maybe doing a lot of clutch kicks and you're just wanting a heavy duty clutch fork. It also helps with pedal feel from what I was reading. So something to keep in mind if you guys are going down that road and looking for a good upgrade, the 04 and up 350Z went to, and obviously it would be a G35, went to that cast design. From here on out, it's going to be engine and transmission together on the next episode, that they're actually stabbed in the car, drive shaft in, the battery situation of relocating the battery, all the exhaust work that I did with modifying the exhaust, and yeah, I look forward to sharing more updates with you guys on this car, along with doing some product reviews that I've started to do also with different companies, tools, parts, etc. The toolkit that I reviewed last week actually went to a really good home, and I'm excited about that. At the drift event, we had a 18-year-old kid come down from Missouri, and he got a Miata 2 weeks ago. He traded his Accord for this older Miata, and it already had cut knuckles and coilovers, and he came out his first drift event and was absolutely just pushing it. And I was really impressed by him to see him go from 2 weeks ago to, you know, having his first drift car to being at his first event, and he was linking the course by the end of the day. So really proud of Quentin for that. And so I felt that, you know what, this is the kid right here with his, you know, Miata put on a trailer that was pulled behind a little Kia. I think it was a Sorento. It was a small SUV, and driving down 4.5 almost hours. He deserved the toolkit because I was really impressed by him just out there, just driving his heart out and having fun. So it went to a good home. Anyways, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you guys so much for the support that you guys have given me so far. This has been fun. It's also taught me so much about videography and just filming and content, and holy cow, I've got so much more respect from people that do this on a regular basis and that do these kind of videos. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video and I'll catch you guys soon. Right about now.